welcome to Cruz Reviewz. I'm your host, Gabriel Cruz. And tonight, we are going to be talking about The Boys. Oh yeah, The Boys on Amazon Prime. First and foremost, let's get some things out of the way. As usual, like to go ahead and go over sort of the format for tonight and let you guys know what Cruz Reviewz is all about. If this is your first time joining in, if it is, we are happy to see you. So Cruz Reviewz is pretty much a review show. I watch shows, TVs, stuff all the time, and thought I'd go ahead and start reviewing things for you guys to check out while you're out and about, cruising around. Okay, anything and everything is pretty much available on multiple platforms. Hey, Lissa, it's good to see you. Lissa usually comments for Archetype Cinematics, which is the company that produces all of these things. This and Artsy Fartsy Friday, which I am crossing my fingers. I'm going to be able to do Artsy Fartsy Friday this Friday because I might have a special guest, Chloe Cuffler, who has joined me in the past. An amazing artist, and we'll be painting some stuff. But Cruz Reviewz takes a slightly different approach than what you might see on some of the other shows. We do an in-depth breakdown and review each. Sound went out. No! Sound does not go out on me. Don't you dare do that sound. Wait, say that again. Say what again? What am I supposed to say again? Am I supposed to say something again? You hit the mute. That wasn't my problem. Don't hit the mute button if you want to hear everything that I'm saying. Well, you made me lose my train of thought there, Liza. Okay, Archetype Cinematics. Anyways, anything that we review is our own personal opinions, whether it's with myself or a special guest. So please keep in mind, this is my thoughts on a show, a movie, or even the short films or whatever, which I'm thinking of bringing back or bringing in. I originally had it in the original format before all the COVID stuff, before I was going to do live show things, but I'm thinking of bringing it back in. Short films, what you guys make. Anyways, anything we review is our personal opinions. If there is something out there that you love or hate that is contrary to our opinions, don't let that change your opinion of something, okay? If we bring up a good point and you enjoy it, great, awesome. If not, that's okay. Mike White, how's it going, buddy? We are talking about Da Boys. I miss you too, buddy. Da Boys. If you have seen Da Boys, I'm going to keep saying it, Da Boys. You're going to like this episode. All right. So, first and foremost, second and third, fourth most. I am talking by myself today. There is no other guest. It's just me. So I'm going to probably ramble on about things I don't need to ramble on. Lissa, Mike, anybody else who's watching, tell me, slow down, Gabe, if I start rambling too much. But let's get to the trailer, because we always show the trailer of what Da Boys is. This is the Season 2 trailer, so there might be a few spoilers if you haven't seen Season 1. But let's get to that trailer right now, shall we? Kapow!
Butcher? What happened?
My wife. She's alive. Vault's holding her captive somewhere. And right now, we're in a little bit of trouble. Are you fucking with us? Listen, this is a fucking mess. We're the most wanted lads in the country. We got soup terrorists. And we got no superheroes.
Hi! I'm Stormfront.
Who?
I'm the new girl.
Wonderful.
Oh,
God!
So what's your big plan?
We'll take them, Vault.
there we go.
And I get my wife back.
We're in. Of course we're in.
We blow it up in that air.
More super terrorists will come. For all we know, these maniacs could be waiting for their chance to kill us all.
Who the fuck are you?
I'm just trying to help.
Really? How?
We are in a war, but we can fight back with an army
Supermen, millions strong.
Now, don't be a pussy. Laser my fucking tits.
1, 2, 3, hit it!
She's got a whole army of supes.
We gotta stop her.
We need more soup!
Shit.
All right, what do we do? We can't just kill everyone.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Oh, great. Cool. Totally.
1, 2, 3, hit it! We just need to keep our shit together a little bit longer.
Okay, you guys go ahead. You guys go ahead. I'm good.
All right, hands in the air. Like you just don't care. Kill.
The Boys. Now out on Amazon Prime. Find a good this show. If you guys haven't seen this show before, yeah, you might want to go watch it because it's special. It's a very special show. It's a very special show. Let's see. Let's sum this up for us for you guys, shall we? By the way, Mike, if you are out of here, buddy, it's good to hear from you again. I miss you too. Love you too. Love all your faces, and I can't wait to see you guys next time, and possibly even review something if you want to, Mike. I know you're busy working, buddy, and I'm glad you are. But The Boys, man, how do we? It's to sum it really quickly up what The Boys is about. Just imagine DC Comics, you know, our Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, all those types of characters. Think about if we just took all of those characters and we modernized it to reflect today's society. Just today's society, and if you had a bunch of power, what would actually happen? Because, you know, the old phrase, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Is that something that happens if you're a superhero? If you are like a god, like Superman? Does that happen? And in a way, this really explores that ideology. So as another little forewarning, this episode of Cruz Reviewz might get a little bit more political than I like to get, and that's just because of how this show really reflects things. But let's get to some of the numbers and the ratings before we dive down into it. I'm not going to hide the ratings or the numbers today. Usually I like to reveal them, but tonight I'm not going to because it's just me, and there's really no big surprises here. So this show is amazing. I mean, like, absolutely amazing. I'm giving it an 8.5, and I think I got my numbers right. Let me check my numbers really quickly. A little bit. What's a little? A bit. It's a bit. I don't know what little bit we're referring to there, Lissa. But we'll see. We got a 9 plus an 8 plus another 9 plus another 8 plus another 9 plus another 8, another 8, another 9, and a 10. And if we divide that by 9, yeah, it's an 8.6 was the overall. But at 8.5, this is a really good show. It is definitely not for, to be honest, it's not for the kiddos. It is not for the kids. I would not show this to my son. Not until he's, I would say, at least 16 or 17. I mean, that's my head. I would not show my son this until he understands some more adult themes. And he's only 12, so he's not there yet. Okay, the complexities that come with this show, it's pretty heavy. It's probably something that when I was like 16, I would have like snuck and watched. So there's a possibility my son might end up watching it by around 16 or something, but he's 12. No. No, 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 no. This is definitely an adult's show, and there's so much. There's sex. There's a lot of sexual innuendos. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of language. Definitely not a kid show. Okay, good family film if all of you are adults. But let's get to the cinematography here. Okay, man, is this show shot well. It's got a lot of saturation as far as just color goes. I mean, let's take a look at the trailer while I'm talking here. I mean, you can look at some of these shots. They're especially when we get into some of like the bunker scenes, the color grading and stuff is really well done. I mean, good backlighting, good key lights, good negative fills. The cinematography definitely reflects the moods and the situations at hand of what you're watching. Like on a television level, especially on a television level, this show is very pretty, in my opinion. It's very gritty, which it should be because of the nature of what it's trying to convey. It's trying to be a more of adult themed against superheroes. There's just so much about the cinematography that really, really works. Some of those lower angle shots, some of the wide shots, just grouping people together, it plays on the intimacy of characters based off of how far apart they are and how close they are within a frame. The show is very, very appropriate. Whoever the cinematographers are, because it's pretty standard for most shows to have multiple cinematographers, everything meshes very well. Even the color saturations and stuff in the edit where the grading comes in, you can definitely see the pops of color as they're moving through. I'm getting very nerdy as I'm talking on this stuff. The cinematography is great. I love the cinematography. Not necessarily like something that's gonna stand out like a Deakins, like a Roger Deakins, because it still has to be a television format, and you can't play with those different types of what do you call it? The formats as far as like 72 millimeter or 35 millimeter or the different. Yeah, I guess this is just formats because I can't think of the other word at the moment on top of my head. Kind of having a brain fart on those things. But this for television, this is very cinematic for what it is. I would have not even been like if this was going to be a movie, I would love to have seen it in theaters. If there's ever like a special screening where you could watch all of The Boys in its highest format, in theaters and have like a whole marathon, that would be awesome. I would definitely go and watch it. And again, everything matches its grit. When there's nice romantic moments, it's there. Everything's great as far as the cinematography goes. Then that's why I gave it a 9. The production design, I gave it an 8. That's still pretty high for a review and whatnot. You know what? Quick little side note. Anytime I say if you have a drink, take a sip. I'm going to have my coconut water. The sipping game. Make sure you have your pinky. All right. Production design. Production design, for those of you who do not know, is just how everything looks as far as what we see in screen, our costumes, our offices, the set decoration, the color schemes on paints and costumes again. Costumes is a big one in this one. I think that I feel that they did pretty well in taking those DC themes and the people and our characters' names and really translating those very well to the costumes. Homelander, for example, who is our Superman, his costume has eagles on his shoulders. His cape is the American flag. It's very much so saying, hey, this guy is America. Like, he is America. And that's what he stands for. He stands for the strength of America. And even it's the ideology of, and this is where we're getting a little political, the ideology of exceptionalism within America. He really represents that well. I'm sure some of you may have even seen the memes where you have Superman on one hand and Homelander on the other says how Americans see themselves, how the world sees America. Like, he really brings out the worst in American exceptionalism. But his costume reflects that. And I think that really, on a production design level, really embodies him. Every single character, whether they're human or they're soups, which is what they call the superheroes, each character's outfit really reflects who they are. Huey, who's kind of our sweet guy who just gets mixed up into it, his attire is very normal. It's very normal. It's not over accentuated. It's not very dark. It's just, sometimes it's just jeans and t-shirts. But it's blues and greens and neutral colors that don't really make him stand out, because as a character, he doesn't really stand out. You could definitely see that in season 1. But he's very sweet. It's very interesting. You guys should definitely, I highly recommend this show. But on a production design, this looks great. The show is great also. Anytime we're in a new facility or in a new location, like we're sort of highlighting a hospital, you can definitely see where the production team really took their time to make it look good. Some of the gore and stuff in there, you special effects or you effects artists, props on you guys, okay? You guys let the gore speak for itself. Great job. Okay, so the production design gets an 8. Does really, really well. It's nothing over amazing, but it's definitely suits everything that you're going to watch. Acting. Let's get into the acting. Definitely a 9. I am very tempted to give this a 10. I would love to know what you guys thought about the acting if you've seen this. It's even season 1. If you haven't seen season 2, but you have seen season 1, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the acting. As a potential and hopeful director, producer, acting means a lot. I've also done theater acting. And in my personal opinion, a lot of the best actors in film are also theater actors, like Sir Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. There's the acting in this is superb. Our guy, my boy, as my buddy Nat would say, my boy, Billy Butcher, played by Carl Urban. Carl Urban is one of those actors I think is very underrated. And if you haven't seen Carl Urban before, who played Airmare in Lord of the Rings, he was in the Doom movie with The Rock. I can't even remember his character's name in that one. And just recently I rewatched Red with him and what's his name? Yippee-ki-yay, bald guy. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Die Hard. Anyways, I'm sure. Director goals. Yes. Anyways, Carl Urban, who plays Billy Butcher, is one of my favorite actors out there as far as a guy who has range. He's really, really good at what he does. And besides just his character and the grittiness of who he is, almost every single person that's in this cast does very well, including a cameo voiceover by Patton Oswalt. Season 2 has a cameo voiceover of Patton Oswalt. I am not going to tell you or spoil for you where Patton Oswalt comes into play, but his cameo is hilarious, in my opinion. The acting is really well done. I definitely have felt the emotion in certain scenes that either tear me up or make me go like, holy crap, that just happened. That person just did that. Yep. But it's believable. It's not too over the top. It's very, very believable as far as what you're seeing. Hello, everybody out there, all 5 people. Please feel free to leave a message down below, and I will see that, and I will try to respond to you guys and let you know that I've seen it. YouTube is the primary place that you can definitely respond, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys may have. let's get to the stunts and choreography, because we're already almost halfway through the episode today for Cruz Reviewz. The stunts and choreography also really well done. 8, nothing that is over the top, but I want to say the stunt team, whoever the stunt team is on this, you guys rock. You guys have taken a lot of hits and a lot of licks. There's so many moments where you got superheroes, this is even in season 1, superheroes thrown against the wall, regular people thrown against walls, explosions, just stuff that you know, heavy hits that probably have tons of pulley work that's going to make characters fly. That's a lot of work to put together for stunt teams. The sets that I've been on, definitely watched how all of that can get rigged up for something as simple as somebody dropping in from the ceiling. There's a whole setup there for those of you who are not usually watching those kind of things. If you just want to drop somebody in from the ceiling, you're looking at like a crane. You're going to have like a crane and a pulley system, and however much, if I remember correctly from my choreography friends out there, please feel free to correct me. However much your person weighs that you have to have a pulley on, you have to double that weight on how much is pulling them or lowering them or whatnot. In different way, and there's math that's involved in there, just like all my grip friends out there. I know you guys have some math that you have to take care of when you're hanging stuff from ceilings, or how much weight can get put on things. But the stunt team, very good job. Everything again is very appropriate. There's a couple of moments, and this is just in my own personal outlook of things, and it's very hard to change this. I want to see a little bit more, how do I put this? Almost an anime kind of style. You saw this, these type of stunt work in the newer Superman movies, where just things look a little bit more chopped and quicker instead of like me seeing the pulley. That's the only reason why I brought it down to an 8. When I see somebody getting actually like pulled up against a wall, I personally know that that's a pulley system. And if you could do things to hide that and make it more fluid, I don't know another way to put it. I have my own ideologies on how to do action, and I haven't been able to test them yet. One day, cross my fingers. Again, director goals, producer goals. I will be able to test these theories and see if I can make them a reality. That's the only reason why I gave this an 8. And I almost feel like until I see that kind of stunt work done, I will maybe never give it a 10. Unless I test it out and I find out, hey, this is just not physically possible. But yeah, otherwise, I gave it an 8. It's really well done, guys. Stunt team, you're awesome. You're amazing. Editing is a 9. Whew, I need a sip here. Let's all take a sip, shall we? Sip break. Remember the pinky. The pinky in Cruz Reviewz is a very importante. The editing, pretty much just how everything is chopped together. So fluid, very, very fluid editing. Not a single moment where I sat there and went, what happened? Why did I cut to this scene? What's going on here? The way the intro for The Boys is done, I think is absolutely genius. You've seen it before in other shows, how we have something going on in the scene. There is a moment that people are really immersed into already as soon as an episode starts, and then based on the framing and where that person's at, for example, if we were looking at me, if I was over here and I don't know, maybe I just sat down, we cut to me sitting down and I'm breathing heavy and I'm upset and I'm all bloody because something happened behind me. Somebody just got murdered. The Boys pops up right here. You're already immersed in the scene and the title just says, yeah, you're in this show. get ready for an amazing ride. So, just even on just that alone, I think is really well done. Again, the color grading is really good. There's almost not a dull moment ever in this show. As far as I'm concerned, I have not had a dull moment. Even my buddy Nat, who I was hoping would join me today, he's read the comics, and this is hearsay now, so you can go find Nat and ask him. But my buddy Nat says even though the direction or the subtle nuance details between the comic books and the show is slight, the direction that they're going still really works, which I'm very happy with. And a lot of that is because of the editing. This is one of those shows that I feel that when they were shooting it, they shot it for the edit, meaning that each frame, each individual scene, they knew this is how we're going to place every scene together. This is how everything's going to match up. Even if they're jumping around as to who they're following, whether or not they're following the Supes at Vought, which is our corporation that runs superheroes. Let's not give away too much. You find that out first episode, first season. Or whether or not we're following our human characters that have a lot of confrontation with the Supes or superheroes. It just, again, it works really well. There's no odd episode where things feel a little off. I haven't watched the first season in a minute, but again, editing, great. Hey, everybody who's just now joining, please feel free to say hello. So far, we've had our producer, Archetype Cinematics, which is Lissa. Make sure you guys say hi to her. She's got her own shows down in the Doodads. We've got Mike White, who said hello, and my beloved Sarah Marchant, also known as Sarah Armstrong. But yes, we are moving on to the next part of our ratings, music and sound design. I gave this an 8. Mainly because there's nothing that really stands out as like an amazing choice. It takes a lot for me, in my opinion, to have music that evokes an emotional response, based not only just on the scene of what's happening. Pixar tends to do this to me a lot. Okay, Pixar, John Williams, mostly because I guess those have also a nostalgic aspect for me when I listen to their music, or there's something that just reminds me of my life. The Boys is enough separated from my life in the superheroes and people realm that the musical choices definitely work, but nothing really stands out. Every scene, especially if it's a very dramatic scene or a very emotional scene, the music definitely supports it. But I found that the acting had more of an impact on me, and sometimes the lack of music, which is also an artistic choice, which can amplify the acting, had more of an impact on me than the music itself. Our main character, Huey, definitely has a thing with Billy Joel. I'm pretty sure it was Billy Joel. And that's a nice touch. It's nice to hear some, some classical music. And I use classical just so I don't show my age too much. But yeah, so let's go to the next part, which would be the effects. Also gave this an 8. The biggest reason, I guess, for giving this an 8, not giving it a little bit higher, the effects are really well done. There's a few that, again, just for me, feel a little cheesy. For television, it's definitely a budget thing. You don't have the millions upon millions of dollars to work with unless you're Game of Thrones for HBO or something, or you have a $1 billion budget for 2 Avengers movies, Infinity War and Endgame. Okay, $500 million gives you a lot of money to play with when it comes to effects and both digital and practical. And I believe that what they did in The Boys for both their digital and their practical effects really works really well. Again, those blood splatters are great for the gore. Your explosions, in season 2, there's a character, Stormfront, who has lightning effects. I think those were done really, really well. But there's a few that feel just slight television cheesy. It's not a lot, and it's not very often. For me, in my opinion, it doesn't really break the immersion into the show. It's just it's those sort of brief, when I look back on it, it's like, yeah, that was a little cheesy. Probably could have been done a little bit better, but there probably wasn't much to do, again, based on a budgetary standpoint in producing. Otherwise, everything matches, everything works really well. And it all flows really well, which leads us to the story. I have not read the comic books. I am very interested on those who have read the comic books. Please let me know what you guys thought of this show if you have read them. My boy Nat, he has read the comic books. He's spoiled himself by reading beyond where we're at, which I think is pretty interesting on his perspective. He still absolutely loves this show, and I'm pretty sure if he was here, he'd probably give it an 8 or higher, based off of all of our criteria. The story is very well driven. There's a lot of conflict, which conflict drives story. There's a lot of character arcs. There's some really insightful and in-depth character arcs, especially between season 1 and season 2. Carl Urban, in The Boys, Billy Butcher, his character has an amazing story arc. Again, I love that character. His character is probably one of my favorites. Huey has some turnarounds. Homelander's character is interesting that it has an arc, but it's got a very, I don't know how to really dive into it too much without spoiling it for you. Anyways, story, guys, really good story. And the overall, taking all of these, this way, taking all of these things from our cinematography down to our story, and wrapping it all together in a nice little bow and package, and placing it under our Christmas tree, is our storytelling. And the storytelling is beautifully done. Hats off, props to all of those who worked on this show. Our directors, our cinematographers, our actors. Remember, people who work on television and cinema, we work hard. These people work really hard and long hours to tell this story. And this story is told very well. I think just everything, wrapping it all up, is the cinematography really reflects how the acting's working. The acting is definitely enhances our stunts and our choreography. The editing puts it all in perspective along with our sound. The effects add to the cool factors, and whoa, look at that, and oh my gosh, that person's got that type of superpower. It all comes together beautifully. There's definitely some odd moments where you're like, whoa, what am I watching? Why is that happening? But at the same time, you kind of can't turn away. You can't get away from it. Which kind of brings me not only just to this overall rating, but this show, I feel like I want to get a little bit more. This is who Gabe is, because it's just me tonight. Let's turn up the music just a little bit so you guys we can set the mood slightly. The Boys, for me, while I'm watching, is more of a pairing to our own country, to the United States of America. And as you watch season 1 and as it pulls to season 2, there is, and this is again from my own perspective, there is definitely an element that says everything is not always what you and your little bubble think it is. That there is a wider world, a wider perspective, a subtext, if you will, to what's going on around you. This is definitely a reflection of Homelander, the character. I mentioned it earlier in acting in the character of Homelander, that he is a reflection of American exceptionalism. There is the newer character Stormfront. I really don't want to spoil this that much tonight. But her character has a lot of reflections as to, I would say, the overall undertones of a particular political party. It does not necessarily mean that that particular political party is evil, but the tactics that she uses in the show to at least enhance the overall, what's the right word? To enhance the overall perspective that the public or normal people in the boys' world and universe see is definitely a tactic that you can see a lot. It is both used in both political parties, both are Democrats and are Republicans, but you definitely see it used a lot more on a particular party. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as possible about this. This show has a lot of political undertones. If you are not ready for those political undertones, you're kind of in for a rude awakening. I am surprised, and this is just maybe based off of my bubble in my world, but I have not seen a lot of people coming out against this show. Even though this show definitely hits at certain people. Well, I mean, not necessarily people, but at least definitely certain political parties. The very end of season 2, without getting really into it, helps with showing that it's not just all one party. There are some other things that are underlying that they don't tell you about. That's not shown. It's sort of shown, but it's very secretive. There is a plot twist in multiple areas from season 1 and season 2. Yeah, I'm never going to tell you what those are right now. I don't want to ruin this. I feel like I'm skirting around the issue. This is a very political show. If you are not prepared for the politicalness of the show, I'm sorry. It is. But it's still a really good show. If you just want to focus on the storylines, fine, great, have fun. But if you really want to dive into some of this stuff, maybe this might be a different perspective on what America is. America is a beautiful country, but it has a lot of flaws. We need to accept that, because if we do not understand our mistakes, we cannot fix them. And that is also a running subtext and subplot in this show. If you cannot recognize the problems that you have, whether it's in the country or in a person, actually, now that I'm really reflecting on it, there's people, some of the characters have their own personal problems. If you cannot reflect on your own problems and recognize them as mistakes, you're not going to be able to fix it. You also have to force a change. Change does not, I've said this to my friend Mr. Duhan and a few others, that change does not happen without conflict. And sometimes that conflict is violent. Maybe not necessarily violent as in, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, or I'm gonna, as Homelander might, think, I'm gonna, burn with my laser eyes a terrorist. But that conflict could very much, or that violence could be just in nature itself, okay? If you think about it, a planet blows up, it becomes a whole bunch of chunks of rock throughout space. That explosion is violent. But it changes. It changes the outlook of everything. Be prepared for the perspectives of particular political parties and people. LOL, Dr. Seuss. Is that how I say it? I said it? Be prepared for the perspectives of particular political parties of people? Or are you just doing that for me, my love? If so, that's sure. Dr. Seuss. We definitely have a lot of rhymes there. This is a really good show, everybody. I highly recommend it. let's take a look at some of the trailer a little bit more. Let me see if there's something. I don't usually get a chance to do this, but let's look at the trailer a little bit. Let's check out some of the beauty that we have here. I mean, come on, look at some of these shots. The greens definitely pop when you need green. Some of the saturated there's 3-tone or 2-tone color schemes that happen in film and television. This show has a good example of that, where you have like a scene where there's blues and magentas, but they complement each other and at the same time give sort of a depth. There's a lot of saturation in color when it comes to this, and the color grading is very well done, whoever did the color grading. This show, I really highly recommend that you guys go watch this show. I cannot say that enough. And I know that season 2 is over. It ended last Friday, so you're fine to go just binge the whole thing and get yourself ready and prepared for season 3. I keep Sarah says that I keep skirting around it and saying different P words. Yeah, okay, I do that. People. Punks. Anyways, great show. You're gonna love some. I feel like a lot of people are gonna love the characters. They're gonna love the feminism that definitely is apparent within the show. Very strong female characters, strong male characters, just strong characters overall. I would say that this is definitely one of those things that goes again. It's not just this person is a strong male character, this person is a strong female. Everybody is strong characters. If they're a main character, there is a strength there behind them that you feel and you get to learn about as you're going throughout the show. Sip. Everybody sip. Sippity sip sip. Oh yeah, coconut water. One of my favorites. Coconut agua. But we're getting down to it. This there's some scenes in here. Again, the action's really well done. We got the stereotypical woman flippity floppity, or what's it, the Black Widow. Man, there's a moment where there's a whale. If you ever wondered what the inside of a whale looked like, watch season 2. It's a very, very interesting show that does not hold back at all. But yes, it is out. It is available now. You guys can go watch it and binge it. I think you're gonna love it, especially if you like the superheroes. But let's get to my pick for the day or the week. What do I recommend besides The Boys for all of you out there to watch? Well, we are in spoopy season, as Lissa and a few of my other friends would say, spoopy season. So there's definitely a lot of horror things out there you can watch. I watched Sleepy Hollow the other day, one of my favorite Tim Burtons. There's a very interesting show on HBO I'm currently watching, and I invite you guys to watch it with me, or along with me, so to speak. And that would be Raised by Wolves on HBO. Spoopy season. Yep, spoopy season. Raised by Wolves on HBO. HBO also has a really good series that I'm looking forward to reviewing, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about it right now. But I'm only in episode 4, and that would be Lovecraft Country. Definitely more of a horror thing, based off of H.P. Lovecraft's writings and those of mythos and Cthulhu and the Elder Gods and all that other stuff. Animes. I am definitely a fan of animes. I just started the first few episodes of Fire Force, which is pretty good so far. Definitely an interesting take on firefighters, an anime version of firefighters. Definitely having a lot of fun with that. Something with Wolves and Didn't Tell Me. No, babe, it's not necessarily Sarah. It's not necessarily with wolves. It's called Raised by Wolves. The plot is technically a human who has been raised by an android, by two androids called Mother and Father. And Mother, on the very first episode, she's more anti-human. In the very first episode, it's the wolves is more of a metaphor, my love. Sorry, but it does. Let me look that up real quick. Raised by Wolves. Let me look up the cast, because it has Raised by Wolves has Travis Fimmel. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Who was our was it Uhtred? In Vikings. Who did he play in Vikings? There's so many Viking like characters. IMDb. Where's IMDb? IMDb. I'm pretty sure was it Uhtred? Lagatha. Bjorn. Where is he? Ragnar. Sorry, man. I was thinking. Uhtred, son of Uhtred. Last Kingdom on Netflix. Great show. That will definitely be a recommend if you want that medieval Dark Ages fix for this for right now. For all of those of you who have missed on your Renaissance festivals and all that other stuff, Last Kingdom on Netflix is also a good pick. But our Travis Fimmel is in the show Raised by Wolves. It's a science fiction, so it's pretty interesting. It's definitely kind of weird. It's a Ridley Scott production and has sort of that Prometheus Alien, the newer Alien feel as far as the cinematography goes and the color schemes, but the way it's presented, it's just different. It's different for a science fiction. And I am looking forward to some very interesting science fiction stuff coming up, especially Dune. I am looking forward to Dune, people. I love the book, and had a lot of fun with. I had a lot of fun with just watching the original film Dune and Children of Dune, which was the sequel, just because it was a very interesting storyline. It had very weird things compared to Star Wars, which is really the mainstream that I grew up with, and Star Trek. So watching other science fictions that are not the norm, so to speak, definitely throw me off. So sum it up a little bit. We got Raised by Wolves. If you guys want to watch that and come and talk to me, and maybe there'll be a review on that one. Lovecraft Country for all of those of you who are looking for your spoopy fix. There's a lot of, I think everybody is pretty much doing horror films and shows right now that they're showing. Another one for your spoopy fix would be Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix. Great show, really dark for Sabrina, especially when I grew up with the sort of sitcom Sabrina the Teenage Witch back in the late 90s, early 2000s. This Sabrina on Netflix is a lot darker. Definitely a lot more with the devil. So if you're looking for your spoopy fix, those are two really good ones. And you guys could go and check out anything else. I'm not really sure what else to say. We got 8 minutes left. Spoopy fix, The Worst Witch. The Worst Witch. What is The Worst Witch on? Let me look that up real quick, because I probably can get it before Lissa messages me. The Worst Witch. Season 4 is on Netflix. The Worst Witch. This looks like more of a kids show. Would I be wrong in saying that? This is a kids show? The Worst Witch? Netflix, yeah. Yes, this is more of a kid show, but you know, there's some kid shows that are really good, people. I still watch animes, all right? There's some amazing animes out there. Yeah. There's some good stuff. There's one that I haven't watched yet, and maybe I'll watch it, maybe I'll review it. The Hubby Halloween, and Adam Sandler. I haven't watched that yet, but that looks interesting for sure. That's pretty much about it. I'm not really too sure what else to say. I feel like I need to blow my nose. I'm gonna mute myself for just a second. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Pardon me. But yeah, that's it's cute. It is cute. She says Lissa from Archetype Cinematics. Otherwise, that's pretty much it from us. If you guys would like to see, if you guys have a particular show or a movie or something you'd like for us to watch and put a review to it, again, I'm really thinking of changing the format up just a little bit. And maybe introducing more than one show for Cruz Reviewz, in which I review one show and then my co-host gives just their numbers on it and their slight perspective very quickly, and then they review a particular show, and then I give my sort of like an old school Ebert and Roper, Ebert and Roger. Yeah, I can't remember those two guys. Ebert. Roger Ebert, right? And Roper, yeah, at the movies they used to do a show, sort of like that, and then maybe even add in some of these independent stuff, because there's a lot of indie short films and stuff that I've watched over the years that are really good, and I'd like to highlight those again, especially since some people are starting to try to get back out there and shoot their own stuff, which. If you are out there shooting, please stay safe, be cautious, find ways, make sure that everybody is safe. It's just crazy times out there, especially for the film industry. But I love you guys all. I love all of you guys. I love you guys. This is hard coconut. Coconut water. It's the best. It's not. This is non-alcoholic. It's just regular coconut water. Now this is the hard stuff. This is regular agua. Not on the rocks. Oh yeah, straight up. Ooh. This is the hard stuff there. I don't know what else to say. I've really talked through all my points. If you guys have any questions for the last 4 minutes, I'm taking questions for the last 4 minutes. 4 minute. Is there any questions here? With lemon? Yes, the agua has a twist of lemon in it. Sarah, you know me too well. My beloved, you know me well. I'm looking forward to Artsy Fartsy. This Friday is going to be Artsy Fartsy, and we will be doing Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts will be the theme. Other shows I'm definitely excited for: Mandalorian Season 2. End of this month, October 30th. Definitely watch out for the review of that at the end of December. Because why would I not review that show? Remember, I don't review individual episodes. I always do a review of the season, because a season is technically just a very long movie, and we really don't get character arcs and things like that until the end of a season. You don't really truly know a season until, or what a show is about until the season is over. That's my personal opinion again. Alyssa says she's so getting in on that. I'm presuming you're saying that you're getting in on the Mandalorian review, not Artsy Fartsy, unless you're getting in on Artsy Fartsy this Friday with the Kingdom Hearts painting. So, what is one of my favorite psychological thrillers? I already know that one. That's going to be Seven. Seven with Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, and what's his name? He got in a lot of trouble. Let me look it up real quick. Seven. Oh man. Gwyneth Paltrow's in that one as well. Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, Brad Pitt. has he been... What is his name? I can't believe I'm missing this guy's name. He got in a lot of trouble. Kevin Spacey. There it goes. Seven. I don't know where that's currently playing. But Seven is definitely one of my favorite psychological thrillers. That thing used to disturb the heck out of me when I was a kid. I should not have watched that when I was like 15 or 14 or 15. I think I watched it when I was like 15 or so. That's one of the ones that messed with my head so much, especially since I was a Catholic back in the day, and the whole thing on Seven is murders based on the 7 deadly sins. That just did not sit well. Good show, though. Or good movie. Good movie. Really good movie. Is the 7 currently playing on anywhere? Let me look. Let's find out. 7, the film. If you want to go see 7... Oh, it's on HBO Max! I might watch that now for spoopy season. Yeah, it's on HBO. So, I actually might go watch that now, just because it's Halloween. That's one of my personal picks. Yep, Manda. Okay. No, you're good for the artsy-fartsy. Anyways, we are rounding up the end of tonight. I want to thank everybody who joined in. Please go and watch the Boys and come back and tell me what you guys thought. And if you agree with my ratings, maybe even give me your ratings and your numbers. What did you think of the cinematography or the production design or the editing or the acting or the other stuff? Otherwise, please like, subscribe, share, send it out to your friends in the universes. If you have family throughout the country and they're just sitting around doing nothing, send them the show. Send it to them. Tell them, hey, go watch this. This guy's got a good review on this stuff. He gets pretty in-depth. I think he knows what he's talking about. I think I know what I talk about. But I know that even as an aspiring filmmaker, I am nowhere near the expertise that a lot of people have out there. If you want to be in this industry, you are always constantly learning about something. And eventually you'll become a Deakins or a Spielberg or something if you just keep at it. Perfection and mastery of things takes time. Anyways, that's it for me tonight. I'm Gabriel Cruz. Thank you very much for watching Cruz Reviewz. I'm waiting for the music to kick back up again because that's how that's what I use for my cues to exit. Okay. And this is very sort of sad. But yeah, that's it for us for tonight, everybody, for Cruz Reviewz. Again, thank you for watching and stopping by. Do all those thingies. Support everybody that's down in the links below. And we will see you guys next Tuesday. Oh, I forgot one thing. Go vote. Everybody, get out there and vote. I know I said good night already. This is important. I wanted to make a point about this, especially since The Boys is very political. Get out there and vote. Okay? You may not think it doesn't matter. And if it doesn't matter, if you really have that ideology that voting doesn't matter, what is voting going to do to you anyways? It's not going to do anything bad for you. You at least get to voice you just a little bit. Go vote. Go look up your representatives. All that jazz. Go see who's locally who's applying for the different positions of sheriff and education, secretary of education or what have you. Also look at your senators. The Senate does a lot more than you think it does. Right now they're trying to pass. They're trying to push through a judge that the president has picked. Like, a lot of these things actually matter, people. It makes a big difference in the long run. Again, even if you think it doesn't affect you, please go vote anyways. Just spend a little time, maybe get to know a neighbor or something. Make an event of it. Go with your family and friends so you have somebody to talk to if you have to wait in line. Just go vote. Please go vote. I'm asking you, please go vote. Go vote early. If you have the ability to go vote early, there's a whole controversy on mail-in ballots, and there's a possibility that mail-in ballots might have some problems. Not because there are issues with mail-in ballots, but because there are political forces trying to work against mail-in ballots. But if you can go vote early at the physical polls, wear your masks, all that jazz, just go vote. Love you guys, everybody out there. Please have a safe, happy October in voting and all that other stuff. And now I will definitely say goodnight. Okay, you saw the Cruz Reviewz, you saw the logo of Archetype. That's it. Love you guys. Good night.